Thomson was born in rural Ontario. Actually, he was born in Claremont, but they moved north up to Owen Sound, just outside, a little village called Leith. And it was very much an outdoors life. I mean, his father ran a farm. He was one of a large family, and because he was rather sickly, they kind of withdrew him from school and he would wander around. A friend said of him that he was born with a shotgun in one hand and a fishing rod in the other, and I think that was actually true. But he also had relatives on his mother's side, Dr. William Brodie, who was a quite famous naturalist. He was also a dentist, because people multitasked in those days. But he was a serious naturalist, and he trained up Thomson as a young man as an amateur naturalist. He was interested in his environment. He was interested in the landscape. He was passionate about wildlife. He was passionate about flowers, about all the natural world. He's very ahead of his time in that regard, I think. In Algonquin Park, he found a curious mixture. We think of Algonquin Park as this rather blissful wilderness. You know, it's part of the legacy of Tom Thomson that we think of it that way, because it looks so beautiful in his works of art. But at the time, he was also recording the remnants of the timber industry, the log chutes, the tumble down buildings. He was interested in that too. And Jackson, A.Y. Jackson, who was a friend of his, of course, said that he owed the lumber industry an awful lot because it gave him things to paint. I think Jackson is projecting rather onto Tom Thomson at that point. He was looking for a kind of picturesque subject matter. The wonderful thing about Thomson is that he would paint anything, including the log chutes if they were in front of him, but he's just as likely to turn to the left and paint the bank of trees in front of his eyes, the lake beyond it, whatever is there. He didn't even stop in the cold. He was interested in painting nighttime. Famously difficult thing to do. Everything goes monochrome. How do you possibly record that? There's a room full of nocturnes here, which are magical things, little miracles of painting, where he captures wind and environment at night. And they are one of the great legacies of Tom Thomson to the world. To do that, he had to rush out in freezing cold weather. You imagine what the weather was like. Freezing cold, he's out there recording the Northern Lights, famously changing in front of your very eyes, rushing indoors to warm his hands in front of the fire, then rushing out to paint it again. He was intrepid, and he was driven to record what he saw in paint.